in the sky. It's a bird.
It's a plane.
The Earth unleashed a fever to fight this infection. Its original and rightful rulers, the Titans. For thousands of years, these creatures have remained in hiding around the world.
What is up, guys? Kid Critic is back with another review, and this review is on the highly anticipated monster movie Godzilla King of the Monsters, which is directed by Michael Dougherty and stars Vera Farmiga, Kyle Chandler, and Millie Bobby Brown, and it's about members of the agency Monarch face off against a battery of god-sized monsters, including the mighty Godzilla, who collides with Mothra, Rodan, and his ultimate nemesis, the three-headed King Ghidorah. When these ancient superspecies thought to be mere myths rise again, they all go for supremacy, leaving humanity's very existence hanging in the balance. Now with all that out of the way, Joker, start this review for us.
And here we go.
Now, so far, I've enjoyed this monster universe that Warner Brothers has been making so far. I like the first Godzilla more than other people do. Kong Skull Island I thought was a lot of fun, and the trailers for Godzilla King of the Monsters were fantastic. I could not wait for this movie, so I was really excited heading into it. All I wanted was just a fun monster movie. And by the trailers, it looked like we might even get more than that, so I was really hyped for this film. If I were to describe Godzilla King of the Monsters, it would be like going to an amusement park and all your favorite rides are in the back of the park. But before you get there, you have to do all this walking and you just don't care about what's going on around you until you finally get to that part of the amusement park and you're like, yes, finally! We're here! And I gotta be honest, that's kind of how I felt about this movie. Now, to start off with the pros of this film, the monster action, which is probably what most people want going into a Godzilla movie, is amazing. It is so much fun seeing this on screen, and you gotta see this in either IMAX, and if you have a Dolby theater near you, definitely go see it in Dolby because it is awesome. And there are lots of beautiful shots of these monsters, especially some of the shots that you've seen in the trailers, but there are some beautiful shots that you can just make it into a poster and put it above your television and it looks amazing. Also felt like the performances all around I thought were pretty good. Kyle Chandler, who is an actor I actually like, I thought he was really good in this movie. Vera Farmiga is awesome as always, and Millie Bobby Brown also has a solid performance as well. So around the table, that didn't really feel like there was a weakling performance in the bunch. I also felt like Kyle Chandler's character's relationship with Millie Bobby Brown's character, I actually thought it was a very nice relationship in the movie. Now let's get down to the cons of this movie. My first con, the human villain in this movie is awful. There's no motivation. You don't know a single thing about this character. Now the reason why I'm not saying who the character is because they don't really state who it is in the trailer, so therefore I'm keeping it classified here. But this character was awful. There's no point of you here. Like, just why are you here? That's what I thought about that character. But the person who plays the character did a pretty good job for what he or she had to do in this movie or was given in this film. There's also some characters in this movie, especially Vera Farmiga's character, that I thought just made some dopey decisions in this movie. It's just like, what are you doing? Why would you do that? It's just like, so you could have found another way to do that. And my other con with the movie is that, to be honest, I didn't really care for a lot of the people characters in this movie. Some of them I did enjoy, like Kyle Chandler's, Millie Bobby Brown, Ken Watanabe, who I love in every movie he's in, so that probably has a little bias for that. But most of the characters, I'm like, I don't care if you die or not. Why? Because you don't really get to know them. I don't even know your name. And it's like, if something were to happen to you, to be honest, I don't care. Now look, I'm not expecting Godfather material out of this, but if you're spending X amount of time with all these human characters and you don't care about them, that's not good. Now, if you remember when I said at the beginning of this review that I said this movie was like, first you gotta walk through a lot of this amusement park that you just don't care about until you get to the good part, that's what the first 2 acts were like. They were like that boring part of that amusement park that you just can care less about. But there were moments with the monsters I thought were great to see. Why? Because it's monsters. Like, yes, that's what I came here for. But the bad part is that it lasted for like 10 seconds. And for the first 2 acts, especially the second act, it just felt like nothing was happening, like nothing was furthering the plot. It was just a bunch of the human characters just sitting there looking at computer screens, wondering what to do, cracking some jokes that I actually kind of thought worked, but some didn't, but that's bound to happen. But I will say, however, they did bring up some interesting topics that I wish they dove into a little bit more in this movie. And I feel what this movie ended up becoming, I feel like it could have been shorter, and it didn't need as many human characters that you ended up having in this film, because there were just way too many. And again, you just don't care about most of them except for that handful that I already said that I enjoyed. Now, with that said, guys, even though this movie had a lot of problems, especially when it came down to the human characters, I feel like if you're a huge Godzilla fan, I definitely recommend it, especially for the 3rd act, which is awesome to see, because it's just straight Godzilla monster kaiju action, and that is what I pay for. And I feel like Godzilla King of the Monsters is entertaining enough, just enough, for me to give this movie a fresh score, a 3 out of 5 Fernies for Godzilla King of the Monsters. Now again, the 3rd act is brilliant, great monster fun. Performances were solid all around the table. Enjoyed some of the characters, however most of them I could care less about. The human villain was awful in this film. Some odd character decisions were made, but I feel like there's enough there in this movie that I feel like Godzilla King of the Monsters, especially if you're a big fan in this IP, or if you just want a fun summer blockbuster, which is what I wanted out of this movie, I feel like there's enough there for you to go out and see this movie. I had a pretty fun time, I would say, with this movie, especially in the 3rd act. Now with that said, guys, tell me down in the comment section below, what did you think of Godzilla King of the Monsters? I still don't know where this ranks among the whole cinematic universe yet. I definitely need to give this movie another viewing to see where it ranks among them. But with all that out of the way, don't forget to like and subscribe as always, and as in every video, look out for the next video or review. And peace!